So how will all of this impact Venezuela's oil market? For more on this, we're joined by oil and gas analyst Cornelia Meyer in London. She's the CEO of Meyer Resource. Good to have you with us. If we could talk actually about the global oil market, will the absence, or we should say rather not the absence, but will the US sanctions imposed on the major national oil producer have an impact on oil prices?
Well, you saw there was a little increase, but you saw last week when the whole debate was really on, Brent traded pretty much flat between 60 and 63 million barrels. Let's not forget, Venezuela now produces about 2 million barrels less than it produced 10 years ago. So it's about 1% of global oil production, so it doesn't matter that much. Also, what they're not selling to the US, they can sell to China, which gladly take their crude and then just use it as an in-kind payment for interest on the debt they have granted Venezuela. So I don't think that too many barrels will leave the markets. The people who are really affected by this are the refiners on the Gulf Coast, the US refiners on the Gulf Coast who need heavy crude, like Venezuelan crude.
That was exactly
Mexican and
what I was
Canadian
going to
crude is
ask
more
you
expensive.
next, Cornelia. That segues nicely, which is what are some of those refineries going to do? Because, not, as you were pointing out, not all types of oil are the same, right? Can they replace Venezuelan oil easily?
Yes, they can replace it with heavy Mexican crude and heavy Canadian crude, but they trade at a premium, or rather Venezuelan crude, because of all the problems creates at the discount. So they will have to pay more. Now, the refiners probably most affected by it is Citgo, which is by 49.9% owned by PDVSA, the national oil company of Venezuela. So even if they get the oil, they will not be able, whatever they use, they will not be able to ship back to the Maduro government. It's just going to be ring-fenced against them. So Citgo is going to be impacted. So is probably Maduro will see less revenues, but he has his friends in Russia and China who gladly will provide him with money.
Will we see an impact on prices in the US?
No, I don't think so. We may see an impact on some of the refined prices coming out of the Gulf Mexico things, but not really. You look at it, yes, WTI is up, but it's not up that much. You know what, really, you have to look at the overall balance. Overall, the US has really been producing gangbusters, their own crude, which is light crude, which can't be refined in most of the refineries, but still they have their own crude to go onto global markets. And then you have the OPEC plus group of countries who have said that they will put out 1.2 million barrels more because markets were getting tight towards the end of the year. In December, they have put 750,000 barrels more on the markets. So all in all, if you talk to any of the agencies, the markets are still slightly, but only ever so slightly oversupplied.
All right, Cornelia Meyer, thanks so much for that.